The Golden Bachelorette. Is Joan Vassos considering moving to Kansas to be with Chock Chapple? January 12, 2025. Hello, Bachelor Nation news fans. Welcome back to the channel. The Golden Bachelorette's Joan Vassos has been spending a lot of time in Kansas with Chock Chapple, and it's raising questions about their living arrangements. Joan, a 61-year-old private school administrator from Maryland, made her television debut during Jerry Turner's season of The Golden Bachelor. 72-year-old Jerry ended up marrying 70-year-old Theresa Nist, but Joan was given another opportunity to find love on national television. She was cast as the Golden Bachelorette and headed back to the Bachelor Mansion. After the meteoric success of The Golden Bachelor, fans were clamoring for a female-led version of the spin-off. The highly anticipated premiere of the Golden Bachelorette Season 1 found Joan greeting 24 single golden men outside the mansion where she had met Jerry a few months earlier. That night, Joan met Chock, a 60-year-old insurance executive from Kansas, and the rest is Golden Bachelor history. Though they initially said they'd be moving to New York, Joan has been spending a lot of time in Kansas. Read on to find out if Joan's moving to Wichita. Chock showed Joan around Wichita. Joan and Chock have been going back and forth between Maryland and Kansas to be together. They spent Thanksgiving at Joan's house in Kansas, then celebrated Christmas at Chock's house in Kansas. Recently, Chock posted Instagram photos of him and Joan hanging out in Kansas. Though they've said they intend to find a place together in New York, Joan looks so comfortable in Kansas that it's possible she's at least considering relocating there to be with Chock. Chock owns his own business in Kansas, so it would probably be impossible for him to move. Joan's job as a private school administrator would be easier to transfer to a new state. On the other hand, Joan's career as a public figure has been taking off since she got engaged on The Golden Bachelorette, so Joan may transition out of education. She's been steadily increasing her social media presence. She currently has 181K followers on Instagram, and Chock is no slouch at 76.8K followers. Chock was in Maryland for Thanksgiving. After getting engaged on The Golden Bachelorette Season 1, Joan and Chock wanted to bring their families together. Joan has 4 adult children with her late husband. Joan was married to Joan Vassos for 32 years until he passed away in 2021. Some of their 4 children have children of their own, so Joan is a grandmother too. Joan never expected to find herself having to date at her age, but that's exactly what happened after her beloved husband took ill and died. Joan and Chock are in a long-distance relationship, which can work for some people. For his part, Chock has 2 adult children with his ex-wife, Heather Chapple, to whom he was married for 12 years until they divorced. Joan and her children hosted Chock and his children at her home in Maryland for Thanksgiving. They seemed to have a great time and got together again during Christmas in Kansas. Joan and Chock decided to keep both of their homes and wanted a third place in New York. That was their original plan, but Joan may have fallen in love with Wichita. Is Joan moving to Kansas? Though Joan has seemed to enjoy spending time in Kansas with Chock, the Golden Bachelorette will probably not be moving to Kansas. With some of her children and grandchildren in Maryland, she'd have a hard time leaving them behind. Joan and Chock's unique living arrangement includes them going back and forth to be together and eventually sharing a third place. They've even been looking at property in New York City. Hopefully, the long-distance relationship won't grow unsustainable after the fresh excitement of new love. Joan's life in Maryland is equally fulfilling. As a private school administrator, she's dedicated to her career and her community. Additionally, Joan is a devoted mother and grandmother. Her late husband, Joan Vassos, passed away in 2021 after 32 years of marriage, leaving behind 4 adult children and several grandchildren. Joan's strong family ties make the idea of leaving Maryland a significant decision. However, Joan's career is undergoing an exciting transformation. Since her engagement on The Golden Bachelorette, Joan's public profile has skyrocketed. With 181K followers on Instagram, she's becoming a bona fide influencer. Her increasing visibility could open doors to opportunities beyond education, potentially giving her more flexibility in choosing where to live. The holidays, Maryland and Kansas. Joan and Chock's approach to their long-distance relationship is both practical and heartwarming. For Thanksgiving, Joan hosted Chock and his family in Maryland, blending their two worlds. Chock's two adult children joined the festivities, and the gathering reportedly went off without a hitch. By Christmas, it was Joan's turn to experience life in Kansas, and the couple celebrated the holiday season surrounded by Chock's loved ones. Fans couldn't help but notice how seamlessly Joan fit into Chock's Kansas lifestyle. Whether it was enjoying local cuisine or taking in the charm of Wichita, Joan seemed genuinely happy. This sparked further speculation. Could Kansas become her new home? A third place, New York dreams. Initially, Joan and Chock discussed the idea of maintaining their homes in Maryland and Kansas while finding a third place to call their own. New York City emerged as a potential middle ground, offering a vibrant backdrop for their new life together. Joan's growing career as a public figure aligns perfectly with the opportunities a city like New York can offer. The couple has reportedly been scouting properties in Manhattan, balancing their dreams of urban excitement with their responsibilities back home. Still, the logistics of managing 3 residences, especially across significant distances, could prove challenging in the long term. Kansas, a new beginning. While Joan and Chock have been vocal about their plans for a third home, Joan's recent visits to Kansas suggest she might be open to a more permanent arrangement. Relocating to Kansas would allow Joan and Chock to be together full-time, eliminating the strains of a long-distance relationship. It would also give Joan the chance to immerse herself in Chock's community, building new connections and experiences. On the other hand, uprooting her life in Maryland would mean leaving behind her children and grandchildren. Joan's family is an integral part of her life, and moving away could be a difficult sacrifice. The long-distance question. Long-distance relationships often come with their own set of challenges. While Joan and Chock's love story is still in its honeymoon phase, maintaining a connection across states could grow more difficult as time goes on. By spending extended periods in Kansas, Joan may be testing the waters to see if she could envision herself there permanently. Fan reactions. Bachelor Nation has been buzzing about Joan and Chock's relationship. Fans have taken to social media to weigh in on whether Joan should make the move to Kansas. While many support the idea, citing Joan's apparent happiness during her visits, others argue that Joan's strong ties to Maryland make relocation unlikely. The future of Joan and Chock's love story. As Joan and Chock navigate their next steps, their unique living arrangement offers a glimpse into the compromises required for love later in life. Whether they ultimately settle in Kansas, Maryland, New York, or somewhere else entirely, one thing is clear: Joan and Chock are committed to building a future together. Stay tuned, Bachelor Nation, as we continue to follow Joan and Chock's journey. Let us know in the comments. Do you think Joan will move to Kansas, or will the couple stick to their plan of finding a third home in New York City? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Closing thoughts. The Golden Bachelorette has given us a love story that's as heartwarming as it is inspiring. Joan and Chock's journey reminds us that it's never too late to find love and create a new chapter in life. Wherever they decide to call home, their bond is proof that true love can thrive at any age.